Otto Warmbier went on holiday to North Korea and stole a poster during a night out, not knowing that the consequences would end his life.
He was blind, he was deaf. As we looked at him and tried to comfort him, it looked like someone had taken a pair of pliers and rearranged his bottom teeth.
It would set off the alarms of a war between North Korea and the United States.
I entirely beg you, people and government of the DPR Korea, for your forgiveness. Please, I have made the worst mistake of my life, but please, I never should have allowed myself to be allured by the United States administration to commit a crime in this country.
The 21-year-old had decided to steal a billboard from the only hotel in the country that receives tourists. That was the beginning of the nightmare for Otto, who was then the world's most notorious delinquent.
Please, save me. Please, think of my family.
You knew this one was special because it got a lot of TV coverage from North Korea, the trial, where the young man was in trauma. He was very upset, and he was carried around. And
every televised appearance of Otto was more disturbing. Completely gone and always being carried by policemen, he was finally released, more than a year and a half after his arrest. However, what appeared to be happy news eventually revealed something that would shock the whole country. According to North Korea, he had fallen into a deep coma, and it was there that suspicions of months of torture grew.
She and I firmly believe that he fought to stay alive through the worst that the North Koreans could put him through in order to return to the family and community he loves.
The vibration and noise of the airplane was really difficult for him, and it made him stiffen up and almost as if he were having a convulsion. So we gave small doses of some standard sedating drugs. The two nurses and I talked to each other about how do we want the parents to see him. Do we want him to be fully awake, or do we want him to be calm and sedated? And we decided should be calm and sedated.
The rescue mission, as difficult as it was, achieved its task in the best possible way, but Otto could no longer cope. Only days after his arrival, he would die because of everything that he had experienced while imprisoned in North Korea.
Otto had a shaved head. He had a feeding tube coming out of his nose. He was staring blankly into space, jerking violently. He was blind. He was deaf. As we looked at him and tried to comfort him, it looked like someone had taken a pair of pliers and rearranged his bottom teeth.
Oh my gosh.
Within 2 days of Otto being home, his fever spiked to 104 degrees. He had a large scar on his right foot. North Korea is not a victim.
The situation experienced by the young man was no longer a humanitarian problem, and it took a political turn with Donald Trump as the biggest critic.
After a shameful trial, the dictatorship sentenced Otto to 15 years of hard labor. Otto's wonderful parents, Fred and Cindy Warmbier, are here with us tonight. Please.
Both parents and the US government talked about how Otto had been tortured in North Korea. However, there was no conclusive evidence of that.
If I had any evidence and concrete evidence that there was a criminal act here, I would be very loud about it and would definitely be stating that.
Finally, the only thing described as possible torture was the head trauma seemingly responsible for the condition he arrived in. As for the politics, Donald Trump finally withdrew his remarks when relations with Kim Jong-un improved, completely changing his rhetoric against North Korea.
I don't think that the top leadership knew about it. You know, you got a lot of people, a big country, a lot of people. And in those prisons and those camps, you have a lot of people.
The truth is that Otto's case caused controversy worldwide and became an important milestone for relations between the United States and North Korea.